If you're a heating air conditioning technician or even a salesperson, how do you work through objections and how do you work through the rebuttals and why does it matter? This is a fantastic question. I'm Scott Bell coming to you live for HVAC Technician Sales Secrets on a perfect day to talk about sales and business and a fantastic day to talk about you. All right, so I want to take you through a process for working through objections. I really don't like the term handling objections because it feels like you're handling a person, right? So like I'm going to work through, and like some people will say it's not an objection, it's a concern, and I tend to agree with that. So we are going to handle some concerns. First and foremost, I want you to think of a concept called an objection budget. An objection budget. In the movies, and when people explain what they did to close a deal, it's like the buyer had a concern, aka an objection, and the salesperson with one sentence, one mighty magical sentence, they took them down. Close the deal. And in all realities, if you watch a top closer, if you watch a deal maker, there is a dance to this. There's a back and forth. And it's not like this, okay? So somebody gives you a concern. The mistake is to go, oh, I got the perfect line. I got the perfect word track. When in all realities, it's a stack of word tracks. It's a stack of questions. It's a stack of interaction with that buyer, right? There was a copywriter named Eugene Schwartz, and he passed away. But he would say great copywriting isn't written, it's assembled. And I would say the same thing is true about working through a concern. Great word tracks aren't written as a one-line sentence or idea. They're assembled as a script, okay? So you have to allocate time for this budget. So let's say that you get one of the 5 major concerns that come from a buyer or an objection. I got to think about it. I'm talking to other people. I'm getting other bids. It's not a good time. Whatever it may be, okay? And your instant retort is fill in the blank. Well, in all realities, you should allocate somewhere between 6 and 12 minutes per concern to have the conversation and work through whatever problem, whatever issue, whatever question, whatever commitments, whatever fears, whatever worries that buyer has, okay? And so it's not uncommon for a salesperson to face about 2 to 3 concerns, aka objections, before they finally get to the real one. So you should have somewhere between 18 and 36 minutes of content when somebody says that they have a problem. And this is done at 3/4 speed. This is not done at full speed. You are not in a hurry. You are meant to slow down. You are meant to take some time on this. And I want to give you some analogies. There's a guy that I've known for 15 years, Doug Wyatt. Doug Wyatt is probably one of the best people I've ever seen work through conversations and concerns from a buyer. He likes to call it going around the mountain, okay? Going around the mountain. That's one way to explain it. It's a long racetrack and not a sprint. You're taking everybody through, okay? You have to climb the ladder. Most people will get to like one step. Well, what's it going to take to close the sale? Well, it's a massive discount, silly. That's what it's going to take. You need to work through the recipe. Well, if you're going to bake cookies, you're going to make a cake, you're going to make anything, hardly ever is like one item. It's called water, right? Like I got water cake, I've got water cookies. Like, no, that doesn't make sense. It's a recipe. It's a lot of content. So you might have to follow multiple steps. Now, here's the thing. If you want to be good at sales, you want to be good at what you do, you should absolutely join my email publication. Go to this URL, type it into a browser, drop in your name, your email address, maybe your phone number. I'll give you the goods, not in the Facebook group, not in the YouTube channel, which means private coaching, private training, discounted coaching, discounted training. It's an email publication. And occasionally, I may try to sell you something so I can buy really cool Ren Spooner Aloha shirts, okay? So here is a couple of other concepts, ideas, and strategies. You can't just get stuck on yes questions. You also want to ask no questions, or you could solely ask no questions, or you could solely ask yes questions. You don't need my permission. I would say vary them. I would say ask more no questions than you're used to. Negative questions or reverse sets, as they're called in hypnosis, are okay. Be aware that your client, your potential client, may take you off of the path. They may go and say, I've got to go pick up the kids. They may say, I've got a phone call to get. They may say, I got to get an email. Or, hey, are you just going to send this to me? Can you get me the proposal? Be aware that you are probably going to get pulled off track. And it's your job, your role and responsibility to keep everybody on point. Right? We're almost there. Let's keep going. Let's have this conversation. right? People are going to try to pull away. You got to keep them engaged. And that's going to happen from slowing down. Right? I was talking at my normal speed just a second ago. I'm going to move it now to about 3/4. I'm going to slow this down. We're going to slow down and we're going to chill out. We're going to hang out, okay? Now, you may get called some names. You may get called a salesperson. And you may even hear things like, don't you try to close me, right? Because what it is sales is 100% uncomfortable until you get the patterns down and then it's normal. But you're going to have to say the tough things. You have to call out the commitments that people made, the inconsistencies, ask for the sale. And this is the difference between a closer and an order taker, right? So there's going to be confirmation about the presentation. You could say one of the things that you said, you shared with me, an issue you wanted fixed was, like, you are going back to the presentation, to the discovery phase. Like, what are the things that they told you that they needed and wanted to have taken care of? It's okay to resurface them. You're going to have to ask questions to clarify. Are you willing to take care of X versus Y? Are you willing to wait for X to happen versus Y? Is blank still important to you? If you could have one thing or another, what would you choose? And remember, it's at 3/4 speed. You're at 75% speed. This is not about I'm racing to the end. You may have been in your presentation for 60 to 90 minutes and your concern budget, aka objection budget, is 18 to 36 minutes. What are you in a hurry for? Why are you speeding up? Why are you going so fast? So last on this list is talking past the close. Once you address the concern that the buyer has, ask them for the sale or tell them the next step, right? Like, I'm going to give you my example. You've watched an amazing video by a guy named Scott Silverbell with some of the best hair in the business. You got one of 3 things to do from here. Just one of 3. Find the subscribe button, click on it, and every time I send out a video, you'll get an update. 2, hit follow. 3, you know what you got to do. Share this video with a friend. We'll see you soon. Thanks for watching.